Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Funky, and welcome back to another video. This one's a bit of a sore topic, I know, but we're going to be speaking about Twitch drops in this video. Where have they gone? Are they going to come back? Why they might not come back? Why they might come back? And we're going to go into a lot of details surrounding Twitch drops as well. In the background, I'm just going to have the game playing in the background. I'm going to try do this in one take so you guys don't have to sit around here, listen to me yap for about 40 minutes about Twitch drops, because I could go on and on. But hopefully you're all doing well. It's good to see you again back on YouTube. But today we're going to talk about Twitch drops. So I'll put out a little bit of a question on Twitter just because I wasn't sure myself, so I wanted to put feelers out there. And big shout out to SUPERCARD News and my goat Robski, who got back to me. The last Twitch drops were December 2023, and I'll put a graphic up on the screen now, but I'm looking at it here, and this is the reward you were able to get from Twitch drops. At the time, for watching for 12 hours, you got what, elemental tier? Is that an elemental tier? I think. And some fusion tokens. I think it's an elemental tier. Let's have a look at the, because I'll be able to figure it out by having, oh, maybe it's, would it be Tundra, maybe? Yeah, it was Tundra, my bad, sorry, elemental way off. It was Tundra card, and then you obviously got a holiday card as well, from it as well. So, at the time, it wasn't the best rewards, and this had happened for a while with Twitch drops, where despite you having to watch whatever streamer you decided to watch for 6 hours, 12 hours, whatever it may be, total, the rewards at the end, although they were free, a lot of people felt like, okay, well, if I'm watching this guy that I don't really like his Twitch streams, why am I watching him yap for 12 hours just to get a card that's not very helpful for me? So a lot of people had this feeling, and for a while, Twitch drops weren't that good. There was that one Cody Rhodes Twitch drops, if you remember that one, where it was quite good. Unless I'm mixing that up with one, and that was one of the bad ones. But I think that was one of the good ones. But if I'm wrong, please correct me. Hey, we got a William Regal. That image is hilarious. But we're going to do some more fusions here as well. But let's get back into the Twitch drop stuff. So, where have Twitch drops been? Well, Twitch drops have been gone since this event, which was, like I mentioned, December 2023. Why have they disappeared for a while? Well, I believe, and this is with no information from SUPERCARD. You guys know I've worked with SUPERCARD in the past, but this is all just my beliefs and my thought process up here in my ramblings in my mind. I have not got any information, nothing like that. But first things first is if we go to the login screen and we go to manage login, there has been the issue with Twitch for a while, well over a year, about logging in with Twitch. But I believe, I've not tested it, but I believe this has been fixed now. But there was well over a year where this was an issue, where you could not log in with your Twitch account for whatever reason. Now, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe in my own personal Discord, I believe people were telling me that this issue is now fixed. But if I'm wrong, I hold my hands up. I don't have a concrete answer on that one. So that was number one. That was issue number one, okay? Issue number two is a sensitive one, okay? So when Twitch drops were in the SUPERCARD community, they started off with a small niche core of creators, those of us who were at the time next makers in the WWE SUPERCARD family, and we were working with SUPERCARD, and we got individual slots assigned to us. Before that, I believe it was, correct me if I'm wrong again, but King Deej, or King Kitten, whatever you want to call him, he had the first one, I believe. And then the next time it was slots assigned to individual creators, and at that time it was amazing for the creators. Obviously for other creators outside of that program, it was not so great. Sorry, I just punched my mic there. So I prefer the way where every creator can do it. Personally, I prefer that. I think it's a bit harsh to single out creators that are involved and creators or not, but that's a whole other issue we could get into. Let me give you some gameplay here in the background while I'm yapping. I'm sorry, because I know you're... What is this fella yapping about? So here's some gameplay for those of you that have TikTok brain. Anyway, like I was saying, Deej had the first one. Again, if I'm wrong, I apologize. Then we had the select few time slots. And I believe, unless I'm wrong, I personally still hold the record. Shout out to me. That's one thing I can cling on to. For highest view count on SuperCard ever at either just over 13,000 or just under 14,000. I can never quite remember what it was. But it's one or the other, which is insanity. But ever since then, we've seen a bit of a steady decline on drops in terms of how many numbers. And maybe that's because you had a broader range of creators streaming it. And don't get me wrong, you still have the same overall numbers, but nobody quite reached those peaks that people reached during the assigned time slots. So since then, you still had people like JB gets good JB got good numbers. Myself, Bullfrog, I believe. Dan Makes Games. Don't want to leave DJ out as well. I'm sure there's other people as well, but just these are the names that spring into my mind immediately. Biggie Dude as well, obviously. Mastodon. There's a lot of people that I could go. Marcinho, I could go through tons of people. So many people got good numbers in terms of viewership over to the channel. And for me, that's amazing. It brings more eyes to the product in terms of the game, and in the fact that, I can watch these people play this game over on this site called Twitch, because a lot of people had not used Twitch when this first dropped in terms of people that played SuperCard. Now, a lot had, obviously, but they wouldn't have chosen to watch SuperCard streams for whatever reason, right? But then the issue came when people decided to do streams non-stop. And you can have your take on whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, but at the end of the day, it was a bad thing for Twitch. And I'll explain why in just a second. I'm trying to make sure I don't get absolutely battered in this PvP game. But basically, what people were doing was they were doing sleep streams where they just weren't there, but the game was just in the background. And because they were in the category, people were able to get drops. This is me I'm not throwing shots at anybody here. Let me clear that up immediately. I'm just explaining the situation. Then you had so you had different categories. You had people doing this who were live for a couple of hours during the day, and then they would just go to sleep but leave themselves in the category so people got stuff. Then you would have people that were just not there at all, and they would be live 24/7 and were just playing old content or restreams or old videos, but they were not there at all. You had those people. Then you had people like myself, who was kind of in the middle, where I was live for 10 to 12 hours every day, and then at nighttime I was showing old content. And then you had people who were just had a image of the game on the screen and were in the category for 24/7. So you had different take. And then you had people who were just streaming and would click end stream, and that was it. If they're live, they're live. They're not doing sleep streams, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So where the issue for me came from is the sleep streams were an issue, but the big issue was restreams and old content and stuff like that. If you don't believe me, Twitch actually brought out a rule and made that against TOS when it comes to drops. That's how serious I think this affected the fact that Twitch actually made a rule change to drops, because people were just doing 24/7 streams for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever many days straight. And maybe they'd come on stream for a couple of hours or a day or whatever, but for the most part, they were just playing old streams. And look, I know a lot of you are one name is going to come to mind. And I know, and I'm not throwing shots. I am going to mention the name, JB, but I'm not throwing shots at him. He was not the only one doing that. There was other people doing it. So just because he's the first name to come to your mind does not mean he's the only one. There was other people doing this in that situation as well. You could also look upon what I was doing as being wrong, where I was live for 10 to 12 hours and I was entertaining my audience and I was engaging. But then after those 12 hours at nighttime until the next stream, I just had old content playing. So you could look. So I am not an angel in this either. I'm perfectly aware of that. but I'm explaining the situation to you guys in the easiest way I can. So I am going on a bit of a ramble now, so I apologize if this video is taking too much of your time. But after that, like I mentioned, Twitch made the TOS rule change for drops. And I believe that is, if not one of the biggest reason we have not seen a return of Twitch drops in WWE SUPERCARD. There are other reasons. They have the daily login stuff now over on the site where you get daily rewards. They have a lot more special quests. They have a lot more free packs in the store on the daily. A lot of stuff like that where you could consider maybe Twitch drops isn't really necessary. So that's another reason why. So if you can combine those two things along with the fact that maybe they felt they were getting a bad reputation by how streamers within the community, and again, I'm including myself in this, I'm not trying to single anybody out. So please do not think I'm spreading hate or like sending hate towards anybody, because trust me, 90% of your favorite SUPERCARD streamers were guilty in some way here. And we contributed towards the downfall of drops in this community. That's what I believe. I may be wrong, but that's what I believe. That's just my personal opinion. And again, I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to name all these names. I named a few names to give you guys an idea. But overall, this is why I think we're not going to get drops back, because of how us, the streamer community within SUPERCARD, handled it. We handled it poorly. We tried to do what was right for you guys, but at the same time, in the long run, it was a negative because it gave a bad reputation, at least in Twitch's eyes, I imagine, towards the community and towards the game. Because we were just rerunning content, whether it was 24/7 or 6 hours a day or 12 hours a day, doesn't matter. You were just rerunning all content, and Twitch sees that as you're not adding anything new, so it's a net negative to them. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know, depending on the amount of views you get on Twitch, every so often you will get an ad play and you can get revenue from that ad. So if you had, JB, if you're watching this, I am sorry. I promise you, I am not trying to single you out. If you feel like I am, please shoot me a DM, but I promise you that's not what I'm doing here. But I'm just using you as an example because I believe the last one you had the highest view count. So I'm just, JB, let's say, had, I don't know, 5,000 people watching him, let's say. I don't know if that was the number. I might be over-exaggerating or underestimating the number. I'm just picking 5,000. If he had 5,000 people watching him, I'm not going to go into the exact revenue, but he got money for every time an ad was played, which... fantastic for JB, of course, that's amazing. But from Twitch's side, they're not really contributing anything, and then obviously because people are just dead watching the stream, and by that I mean just lurking in the stream, then the advertisers are not happy about that either. So that's kind of a context to it as well. But overall, I think the main issue was the lack of live content during the drops. I think too many people were away from the monitor. Too many people were gone for too many days away from the screen. I thought I reached a happy medium between being live for 12 hours and then rerun our old content for 12 hours, but constantly live, if you get what I mean. My stream is constantly up, but I personally was live for 12 hours and then old content was live for 12 hours. But looking back, I don't think that was a good thing either. I think how it should have been done was, if your stream's done, your stream's done. And I think that negatively affected the community in SUPERCARD in terms of us getting a return of drops. Recently, in the last couple of months, we've seen 2K25 get drops for select 2K25 creators. They have returned, so clearly there is some working relationship with 2K. But if I'm being honest, I do not think Twitch drops will ever return to SUPERCARD. I think it's left a sour taste in the amount of Cat Daddy, SUPERCARD, and Twitch themselves, and maybe even 2K as well. Obviously, from a creator's point of view, I would absolutely love for Twitch drops to return. I have been very open with my community on my streams and in my Discord about Twitch drops. They carried a lot of us through a bad time in terms of content creation. So for them to come back would be an amazing thing for us. But do I think they're going to come back? No, I don't. Which is not a good thing for me personally. Not at all. I would love them to come back because it would definitely help in terms of trying to make this content creation thing a full-time job for longer. It would definitely help with that. But personally, I don't believe they will. So I just kind of wanted to speak about this because it's a question I get asked a ton. I get asked on streams. I get asked on Instagram. I get asked in my Discord. I get asked in my DMs. I get asked everywhere, even on Twitter. I get asked about this all the time. So I just kind of wanted to address this. I'm going to try and make videos every now and again back on the YouTube channel. But quick reminder to anybody that does not know, I haven't gone anywhere in terms of SuperCard. I still play SuperCard quite regularly. In fact, I stream it regularly over on Twitch. My Twitch link will be down below if you want to catch me live. I will be there tonight. If you want to come on over to the stream, I would appreciate it. That would be amazing. Come on over, check it out. We also play other games now. I play games with my community in my Discord once or twice a week as well. So please get involved in the Discord. The link for that will be down below. But I'd love to see you all on stream. There also is a sponsor I have going on at the moment. I'll throw that out to you guys as well. It is for Marvel Strike Force. If you've already played the game, it won't count. But if you've not played the game before, I'd encourage you to maybe click my link down below in the comments, install the game. It really would help me out tremendously. Even if you guys just install the game, I get a tiny little bit of money for people that install the game. If you play the game, I get even more. Yay! And I can waste more credits on this game. Isn't that great? But no, that's pretty much it. But I quickly wanted to say, over the last couple of years, we've had so many events that I personally believe would be perfect for drops. I think the SummerSlam Rocks event would be perfect. I think the Street Fighter event would have been perfect. I think I can't remember the name of the event, but the recent Christmas one. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it. But that would have been perfect. And so many others where we have these special events, in my opinion, would have been perfect for Twitch drops. The reason they haven't come back is because I don't think they're ever going to come back, unfortunately. But that's just my belief. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I've been yapping for 17 minutes, so I apologize to you guys. Hopefully you all enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll let you go at this point. But thank you all for watching. If you're a creator and you're watching this and you feel like I was talking bad about you, I promise you I wasn't. I was trying to keep it very positive. I was not trying to throw shots on anybody, so please don't take that from this. If you do feel like I did, please reach out to me, but I promise you I was not trying to say anything negative about anybody. But I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.